You're already clapping. You're already clapping. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Houston's own internationally acclaimed two-time author and motivational speaker extraordinaire. Give it up for the host of the Brandon Holt Show. It's Brandon Holt.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 46 of the Brandon Holt Show. From Hollywood, California, international film director Marc Casey. From Langston University, professor of psychology Dr. Lawrence Murray. Iron sharpens iron. Catch us Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, May 25th, 2021 on YouTube Live. Follow the show on Instagram at Brandon Holt Show.
Hey, this is Marc Casey, the international film director and TV writer and director, shouting out on the Brandon Holt Show.
Hey, this is Dr. Lawrence Murray from dear Langston University, and I want to send a special shout out to my main man, Brandon Holt, on the Brandon Holt Show.
Dr. Murray, you're from LA, but you live in Oklahoma. So you rocking with the Lakers or the Thunder or the Dallas Mavericks, where I'm from? Who you running with?
This is going to get wild. I'm really running with the Clippers. Even though you see here my Laker thing, that's from Kobe's era and a different era. And so I have some relics in my office that I can really brag on from Kareem all the way. But as a West Coast guy, since Kawhi and my man is there, so I'm a Laker, or rather a Clipper fan.
And I've been checking you out on social media. It seems like you're in the gym every day. What's the purpose behind that?
Man, just self-care, bro. Talking trash to motivate myself, and just having fun, man. I'll be 55 this year, and I actually play every Thursday and sometimes every Tuesday, and I'm the oldest guy out there. So that's
hold on, though, Doc. Hold on, because I was watching your jump shot, and it kind of concerned me a little bit because I didn't see a lot of arch when you were. It's like a flat line. So how can you improve? Do you need to come to Houston for some training, or what can we do to help you with that, Jay?
I'm gonna humble myself because I saw you working out with your son. And I saw your body getting in shape. And so I will come to Houston and get some pointers. But my shot will look different when it's in front of you than on the camera.
But don't, hey, Doc, don't come down here calling fouls, man. We don't run into people and call fouls. And I mean, if you come down here, you got to go hard if you come.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Dr. Murray, tell us how you got started at Langston.
Wow. A very interesting journey, Brandon, man. I was teaching at Oklahoma Christian for at least 14 years. And my daughter graduated from Oklahoma Christian. And after she graduated, she challenged me to just move somewhere else, and in particular to an HBCU, man. And all of the planets aligned. And they had a position open. As a matter of fact, their 40-year department retired.
So, Dr. Murray, things seem to be opening up now. The majority of the population has received the COVID-19 vaccine. What's the psychology behind what's happening? Will we go back to normal? Is this the new normal?
Man, Brandon, you're right on time. I'm not sure what a new normal will look like. One of the major things you mentioned in your question about the psychology of it is all of the isolation, and the separation from probably some of our major social supports has been an issue. And then the deeper thing we need to consider is some people have gotten used to their isolation, man. And so going back to a new normal, as I hear the whole frame of the question, people are going to really have to work that out in terms of all of the social aspects that created with reconnecting with people and those types of things. For some, they can't wait to get it. They can't wait to do it. But then for others, they've gotten very used to working from home and then, going back to other environments.
event would you rather die than live through?
Wow, man. And that's the most heaviest question you could ever ask an individual, and in particular, a man who's in process. And quite honestly, since I'm on the Brandon Old Show, man, I want to be honest. I'm middle aged, and that doesn't mean much other than I'm 54. So questions like that are heavy. Corazon Aquino is the name. And I quote him, who said, "I would rather die a meaningful death than to live a meaningless life." And so I'm not countering it with Corazon Aquino's quote, but when I think about what event would I rather die than live through, man, I process grief, in a different manner in terms of having buried a father and a brother, and wow, that's significant. But then, now here lately, looking at the trauma that's going on in America, in particular parents bearing children and seeing their grief, I don't know. That's something to consider.
Well, I was going to ask you, sometimes I think I'm afraid to die.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. Of course, I won't know what's happening after death, but is that common to feel that way? Because a lot of people have lost loved ones during COVID, and any sign of sickness, myself, that we've had over the last year, automatically start thinking those thoughts. Is this it for me?
As a professor right now in a university with students, and then of course dealing with an adult population, I have to deal with that very question, man. What do I do? I'm grieving. So here is another counter to that. I let clients and others alike know, look, I'd rather die while I'm living. Yeah. And then than live while I'm dead. You see what I'm saying? And so it literally means, how do I choose to live my life? Because at the end of the day, the pandemic is still going to be here. Grief has to be processed, so it's a heavy question, and that's how I would approach it. But then there's more to it.
A lot of people struggle with being authentic because we want to feel acceptable in society. It seems that sometimes I wear a mask because I want to be accepted. I want people to like me. And when the mask comes off, I struggle with my authenticity when I'm speaking with my higher power. Am I being 100 when I go out there? Because if I'm 100, it's like I want to be 100 when I get out there, but sometimes there's a part of this 100 that may not help me elevate to the next level, in the public eye.
Yes, the whole mass, and that's the reason why. And you on your show is so broad and wide. You ask any clinician or therapist, man, they will tell you the issues that they're closely wedded with, or the clients that they deal with. And I know you would know that full well. And what's so interesting, I've received these clients respecting our confidentiality in terms of, man, I've been this person, but now that this isolation, this pandemic has really caused me to think about who I am, and I haven't been the person that I truly am, and I still have obeyed a social construct. And these have been men, man. It's been interesting to be with certain people on that journey, whether it be I live for materialism, or attached to that question you asked me earlier, what am I living for? Am I taking it to deeper purposes of experiences, or is it relationships? It's a heavy question. Is it the adventure of my life? And most people are squabbled in relationships, whether married, single. And so this is heavy, and we wear a mask over all that stuff.
Mm.
Because I don't really want to let you in. If I can add this other person in our conversation, they don't want to let us in, but we're going to show our best selves.
Mm.
And the fact that we have to wear a mask and we've already been wearing one.
So does everybody wear a mask, or can someone truly be authentic everywhere they go?
I want to remain Freudian, and as a mental health scientist, everyone wears a mask. Everyone has. When I say Freudian, I don't want to sound weird. It's simply saying that you and I right now, I'm projecting my iceberg to you. You don't see beneath the surface those things that I'm protecting. You don't see that. And so I may steer you away from some things, Brandon, bro. I may steer you away from some things as a man. So if you get close to the way I develop around being hurt or being bullied, it could be a lot of things that certain people, men and women, are protecting. It may be necessary for me to wear that. For a sister who's watching, it may be necessary for her to wear that because she don't want the triggers of her trauma to come back up.
What are the keys to success?
Consistency coupled with commitment. And I'm not trying to alliterate that. I found that to be true in my own experience. So it's not from a book. It is absolutely not from a book. If it is, so for someone who's saying, look, I'm in school, I've been in school all my life. And so I'm on a borderline of that's, if you're going to do it, you do it. I have no wiggle room. There's no wiggle room. I had a father who was a cement mason for the city of Los Angeles for 30 years. And the youngest son. And so he was just hard work. That's all I know. And so there's no wiggle room when it comes to a lot of the things that I do, because you couldn't let cement sit. I carry that same concept. My father never allowed breaks. It was 8 hours. That's it.
There are some times where I feel like quitting. I get to a point where I hit a brick wall and I just want to stop everything, throw in the towel, and keep it moving. And then there's days where I feel like things are good, things are working, I'm going to keep pushing forward. Have you ever experienced that in your personal life, but you found a way to keep going?
And I have mountain peaks, Brandon, and then, man, I nervously say that I have to do it every day. Every single day. It's I don't have this algorithm for like this week. So it's every day where I'm subject to the trigger of depression or old habits that will not cause me to be progressive, and things that will trigger procrastination. And so what I do to answer that question is just go into my thoughts. I try to teach clients so I won't drag them down the months and years of the level of cognitive behavioral therapy where it's available. And I know you know this, but for me, I have to do it, an activity thought log. So when I notice those thoughts, let's just say at 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock, where I'm prone to go on these doldrums of something, I'm going to literally have to tell myself it's work. So I don't have a quick solution, Brandon. It's kind of the work of saying, okay, Lawrence, this is not happening to you now. Lawrence, you're not, and then literally not talking to myself, but talking to the thought, Brandon. Talking to the thought that may be a cognitive distortion that's a regular part of my belief set. So real quick, this may help somebody else, because look, if something comes up and I get down because it comes up, why do I get down? So for example, it could be a belief that I never do anything right, or I can never get this off the ground. Those are cognitive distortions. Tell in particular, my senior students who are going on to grad school, but I tell my clients, listen, we're not going to be successful, neither is therapy, if you don't engage in the activity of challenging thoughts. And so for Lawrence, man, I have to challenge those depressive grief thoughts that I have every day about my brother and I, because he and I were so intimately attached and talked 3 times every day.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Lawrence Murray, professor at the Langston University. Dr. Murray, can you make one commitment to us?
Sure, anything, man, anything.
That you will come back on the show.
Anytime, Brandon Holt, anytime. I consider it an honor to be on this show, bro.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Marc Casey. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So, Marc, come on, man. You from Detroit.
Yes,
are you claiming the 7 mile or the 8 mile road?
Neither mile road. I claim just the whole west side. That's what we say, the west side. See, I was born and raised as a child in Detroit, Michigan, but my adulthood, I was raised in Los Angeles, so I rep LA all day. I wear the Detroit Tigers hat, I wear the LA Dodgers hat and the Lakers, and I rep the Pistons. So I went to USC Film School. So as you can see, I'm repping the Trojan, baby.
So Marc, as a young child, what did you have the desire to become?
Well, it's amazing that you say that, because I had a conversation recently with someone. I actually played football in high school, but it didn't last long because the ball hit me in the nose and I started bleeding, and the guy started laughing at me. So instead of me getting back on a horse and running the ball, I was too embarrassed. My ego caught up with me, which can be devastation to a young person. We need to know how to keep our egos in check and just continue to go through our successes without dealing with people around you that may be bullying you or making you upset. But my goal at the time was to be an entertainer. I just didn't know in what field. I was a saxophone player, and like I said, I played football. So both of those things were entertainment to me. Me coming from Detroit, Michigan, Motown was everything. And Marvin Gaye and Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, all that is in our DNA. And so when you have that type of cultural background that we had here in Detroit, everybody think they're a star because of the Motown DNA that's in us. So I always wanted to do something, whether it's music, sports, or now movies. It had to be entertainment. It was just in my blood. But I didn't have a Barry Sanders at the time when I was younger. I couldn't see somebody my size running the ball, so I didn't think it was possible, because we never had a 5'9", 5'10" running back that was successful. And that, we had a Muggsy Bowles,
right.
And if I played basketball, he would have been my inspiration. But I didn't have a football player that was short and that could move, because I was like a Reggie Bush, a Barry Sanders on that field, but everybody kept saying you too small, And if I would have saw just one person that looked like me that was doing it, it would have changed my whole perspective. And that's what's important. And that's what had the segue to now is when I saw Spike Lee, I said, oh, if Spike can do it, I can do it, because I saw somebody like me. And then when John Singleton did it, who was closer to my age, I said, oh my, this young kid, I'm in LA, he's in LA, and he made a movie about the streets of Los Angeles. Man, I gotta do it now. So it's amazing how one person or individual or a group can change a child's life or a young person's life for success. You don't know that. Just one person can say something to you that can make you drive further than you ever thought you can drive. And also one person can say something to you to make you put your brakes on. So you got to watch who you let put things into your spirit or into your life, because it can either devastate you or accelerate you. And that's very important. And I try to teach my children that. Watch who's in your ear. You
mentioned, what are some keys to achieving success from your experience as a film director?
I would say persistence and learning. I actually started off as a writer, as an actor, and when acting at the time was so segregated, meaning that we didn't have a lot of Black things for me to act in. And when I went in as a gangbanger on The Hunter, or 21 Jump Street. I'm dating myself, but these shows had the blacks in the shows were gangbangers with the stocking caps on their heads and the pistols in their hips. And I literally would go to auditions dressed like this. When I started working for Bill Cosby, had a show called A Different World, and I had the opportunity to be on the show. And I was just an extra on the show, but see, I was a sponge. And what an extra means, that means that's the atmosphere, the background. You see the kids walking in the background with the books and all that. Those are what they call in Hollywood as atmosphere or extra. They don't have speaking roles, but you get access to everyone because you there. You with Lisa Bonet, you with Bill Cosby, you with everybody that you Jasmine guy.
Taking advantage of the moment, which is what you did.
And you have to, and if you don't, you foolish. Because if I put you in a room with Bill Gates and the rest of the billionaires, the Shark team, let's say, and you don't speak to any of the sharks, and you're trying to get some investment, that's your fault. I'm putting you in a room with them. And if you don't have the heart or the tenacity to tap Damien on the shoulder or one of the other sharks, then that's on you. I did. I tapped the writer and I said, hey, do you mind if I take one of the scripts home? Because I think I can write a segment. And so he said, yeah. So I went home and didn't know how to type. But my girlfriend and wife or whatever she was at the time, she typed it for me, a script of what they call a spec script. So I wrote a whole episode. They wound up using the episode. Ironically, I didn't get credit for it because it was not in the right format. It was all janky. But I was happy that they did use my episode, whether I got credit or not. Some people get hung up on that. But the writer, Thad Mumford, who was the producer, also the writer of that show, A Different World, he said, why don't you go to film school and learn how to write properly? I see your potential, but it's not a Hollywood standard. Now, that didn't break me. That motivated me.
How do you as a director, you mentioned earlier, when you're put in an opportunity, take advantage of it. Don't just see yourself as an extra, but see yourself in the room among greatness. You have reached the side of greatness, and you recognize when someone is in the room, which is where you were, and you know that person is just grateful to be there.
When I'm at an event where there's a lot of successful people, normally I don't see anyone that you're seeing. I put the onus on you. It's not my responsibility to force you to take advantage of this room that you're in. If I see Oprah, I'm gonna slide in. I take a chance and get fired. Because I see once you get to a certain level mentally, not age wise, you look at them as opportunities and not just these superstars. So you feel like, hey, if I don't say something to Oprah right now or Spike Lee right now, then I may not ever have the opportunity. So you just have to take that chance.
Especially young people, when you have an opportunity, you have to go for it. Just like Mark just said, don't be afraid to be told no. And Mark, I can just imagine how many actors and actresses have been told no, but they kept on going.
Listen, I'm gonna give you two stories with two powerful people. One is now more powerful than the other. I had a project for Halle Berry. And I went through the proper channels, which is the agents and the managers. And so I did. And so the agent was like, well, you need to go through the managers first. And I'm like, who's the manager? I found out who the manager was. So I beeline to the manager and put my producing team, because I have a lot of beautiful women on my producing team. And I learned that.
And why is that, Mark?
I'll give you that. My Jewish counterpart, my brothers, I used to work for Orion Pictures, which was a subsidy of MGM and a company called MPCA. And I worked for a Jewish group of men who taught me some things. And these powerful producers, I'm going to call them producers now that I identified the ethnic background, because they were powerful. However, they always had beautiful assistants. I mean, they were educated, though. They were Harvard grads, but they were knocked down gorgeous. And I was like, why do you have these beautiful people? And I know they're educated. I know you're not getting them because they're just beautiful, because they were really educated people. Many went to Harvard, many went to UCLA, Pepperdine. I got my producing team to to get in touch with Halle Berry's management. Finally, I got to talk to her and tell her the project I had. And then she was like, well, maybe this is not for me. Maybe you should go with Taraji. Because, at the time, Halle Berry was very big. And so, ironically, Taraji was managed by the same manager as Halle Berry. So I left Halle alone, got my picture with her, gave her a kiss on the cheek, and got to caressing, do the things that us black men wanted to do, with Halle. And I had that opportunity, and I took advantage of it. I went to Taraji, and Taraji was a little bit more easier accessible then. So anyway, to make the long story short, I caught up with Taraji, grabbed her, and did my Detroit, LA swag. So I made my move with Taraji, and she listened. She read the script. She talked to me. Then when I got to the next event that she was doing some kind of event at, I said, "Hey, what's up? What I've been, your agent is stalling, your manager's stalling. Talk to me individually. What is the problem?" And she just said, just like this. And every time I see her, I say this to her: "Show me the money, Marc. Show me the money." Because she was in that stage where money was important to her. So that was my last encounter with Miss Taraji. Well, I shouldn't say last, because I've seen her at other events, and I always saw in her face, "Show me the money."
You really touched me just with your story. It's been a pleasure getting a chance to meet you. You're inspirational. Keep on pushing out there, making Hollywood proud.
Right now is the best time ever if you're trying to be in this industry. I've never seen a time other than the 70s when you had all those black exploitation movies with Shaft and all those movies when I was a little kid. That same era has come back now. So there's no excuse that you can't make a movie or be in the movie or produce a movie or act or write. Now, if you don't take advantage of this COVID time has made it the playing level even now. And the door is wide open because they need so much content that they're taking it from almost anywhere. You can shoot something on an iPhone now if it makes sense, because there's so many platforms and they need content. How many times are they going to show the Martin Show? I have a new one that's out called A Day of Trouble with Omar Gooden and James and Kathleen Bradley. Okay, the young lady who played Miss
Parker.
Miss Parker. How can I forget that? So I have those three are my stars in The Day of Trouble. It's currently on most platforms. I just signed a new distribution deal. So all my films are about to be out on all the platforms. Right now, I'm currently shooting a movie called Halfway with Mano, this guy from New York, and Damian Hall from Guy, and Gary Sturgeon from Tyler Perry's movies. And Patrick Fawcett from Tyler Perry's movies. M.A.C.
Hold up. I can't leave without saying this. Brother, I'm in my feelings right now. I'm in my feelings, man. I had an opportunity to audition as a police officer for one of your shows, and I spent 7 hours putting together a 2-minute clip for the audition.
Oh, wait.
And I thought I was a Hollywood star. Man, I was ready, Marc. I was ready for the camera.
I mean, that was the one in Miami. That was Last Chance.
That was in Miami. That was me.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, man.
One of my producing partners brought me you. I remember now. I'm sorry.
Man, I thought I was on my way to the I thought I was on my way.
Well, guess what? This is a TV series we're doing, so we have recurring roles. So this new project I'm doing, Halfway, is going to continuously film. So it's not just a one and gun and we're done. Is on and on. So you have an opportunity, Brandon, to show your skills. I'm looking forward to it. Well, you got my people's contact. Let's make it move.
I got it. Hey, everybody.
Actually, I have another one. I got a new film that I'm filming right after this in August or September called Demella. Demella is a female who makes love and kills the men that she makes love to. Wow. She's a little cuckoo. Okay. So all the men that come to her home, they got the postman, the Amazon guy, the UPS guy, the FedEx guy, and those are most of them going to be celebrity guys that you know. But I'm going to make one of those roles for you.
Oh, man.
So you come on into the house and seduce Demella. She's a demon. Okay. And this will be my first horror slash film. I've never done anything like that before.
Mark, I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm just like you chased after Holly Berry. I'm chasing, brother. I'm coming.
All right.
Hey everybody, this is my main man Mark Casey, international TV film director, dropping through the Brandon Holt Show. Mark, we appreciate you. Come back and see us when the next project drops.
For sure. God bless and thank you very much. And never ever give up.
Never give up.
Don't let anybody give you toxic energy. Cut them off and move on. Because guess what? You are control of your own destiny. You are.